Welcome, everyone, to the FFL National Weekly Sales Training Call. We call this the Higher Level Training. I am going to be the host today, and our guest speaker is going to be Miss Kristin Salais.
Yeah.
It's actually Salais, right?
It's Salais.
Salais. I always mess
Like
that
a
up.
pizza.
Just like a piece of pizza. Kristin Salais Romero. Two names. So first we're going to get in real quick. We're going to read these numbers real quick because I want to jump on. I don't know if everyone has paid attention to what's going on the last 2 days, but Kristin's been out in the field. She sold $25,000 in the last 2 days. Very impressive.
Thank you.
So we're going to go through these numbers real quick, and then we're going to talk to Chris. I'm going to ask her a lot of questions. We're going to figure out exactly, you're going to be able to tell us exactly what you do to do what you do, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I can't wait. Well, let's go through August week 1 submit real quick. Let's start out with the agents. We have in 20th spot, Ryan Phelps, 7,362 submit. Andy Lampa, 7,902. Eugene Marshall, 7,998. Amaka, 8,220. Jacob Holland, 8,275. Scotty Simmons, 8,627. Thaddeus Scruggs, 9,104. Will Crandell, 9,199. Sylvia Jenkins, 9,300. Brad Murphy, 10,027. Jeff Estep, 10,374. Tiffany Johnson, 10,900. Leslie Andrews, 11,284. Austin Smith, 11,928. Nathaniel Magda, 12,144. Ron McCormick, $13,044. Gary Nesselrode, 15,235. Julian Dixon, 16,750. Great job, Julian. And then Kristin, our speaker today, 26,866 submit for the week. And then if that was not enough, our number one submit for the entire week was Mr. Ryan Urbanski, submitted a total of 33,371. Great job, Ryan. Let's go through our team submit numbers. We have Will Crandell, 27,223. FFL Blitz, 31,181. Unity, 42,097. We the People, 45,426. FFL Trust, Kristin, that's your team, 47,151. Peak Finance, $65,090. Honor and Valor, $70,858. Dream Team, $77,071. Pursuit of Happiness, $81,637. Fury, $111,845. FFL Entourage, $227,093. FFL Allegiance, $231,367. And for all of FFL National, it was a total of $543,391, and that was a total of 121 people submitted for the week. And I still don't believe that everyone is submitting their numbers. I think we're probably weekly over 600,000 submit. We got to be with what we're issuing. I wish there was a way that we can get everyone to put in their numbers each week so we can get a better gauge on exactly what's going on. But we got to definitely still work on that. Let's go through our final July issue pay. We had 5 weeks last month, and we just wrapped up. We got our final numbers on Thursday. Let's go through the top 20 agents. We have Jacob Tower, 19,894. Rachel Canning, 20,566. We had Daniel Smith, 20,584. Nick Leonard's, 22,757. Ryan Urbanski, 24,557. Eugene Marshall, 25,072. Leslie Andrews, $27,008. Allison Liston, 27,187. Richard Moore, 27,313. Ashley Fishel Schaefer, is that your girl?
Yes.
My God, first month. Isn't that exciting?
That's awesome.
You hire
so
people.
Happy for her.
Yes, that is exciting when you see that. She's almost in the top 10. Number 11, Ashley, great job, 27,556. Will Crandell, 28,464. Thaddeus Scruggs, 36,882. Scotty Simmons, 38,358. Linda Lampasso, 39,537. Ron McCormick, 43,274. Austin Smith, 44,414. Andre Brooks, 44,932. Joshua Chris, $45,222. Rakita Gorman in second place, and that's a great job for Rakita, brand new too.
Sure.
$46,906, great job. And the number one spot is our trainer today, Kristin Salais Romero, $49,892. Great job, Kristin.
Thank you.
Let's go through the team issue paid numbers for July. Let's do, we're going to start down at 50,000 above team-wise. High voltage, 53,208. Will Crandell, 54,178. Protect and Serve, 83,470. It's a record month for Protect and Serve. We had FFL Unity, 129,655. FFL Trust, 141,115. We the People, 154,905. FFL Blitz, congratulations, Steve Johnson. He hit vice president. Great job, Steve. 157,555. Peak Finance, 194,197. Honor and Valor, another record-breaking month, 239,288. Pursuit of Happiness, 262,255. FFL Dream Team, record-breaking month, 309,286. FFL Fury, record-breaking month, 463. Then we had FFL Entourage, $730,035, which was a record-breaking month. And I didn't call Pursuit of Happiness, Ron McCormick's group. That was also a record-breaking month at the 262,255. And then FFL Legions, record-breaking month, 868,387. And then all of FFL National, I can't believe we fell short by $140. We did $1,861,248. We are chasing this $2 million, man. We got to hit this. That was a total of 274 agents for the month. So great job. Now, July was a 5-week month. One of the most important things that you can do is when you see numbers like that, you have to realize and understand it was 5 weeks. You give yourself a quick pat on the back, and then you get moving, and, we go into a 4-week month. The trick is if you can follow up that 5-week month and do the same thing in a 4-week month.
Absolutely.
So that's what we need to do. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of growth. We got a lot of momentum. So just some great stuff happening right now. It's exciting watching some of these teams grow. And if your name is on here and you don't have a team name, you need to get to 100,000 2 months in a row so we can get rid of your name and give you a logo and an actual team name. So, Kristin, how are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. I was watching Slack, and if anyone's watching this and you're not in the Slack group, I think it's very motivating. Like when you're in there and you're watching, I think it was Saturday. Saturday was a big day. So was Friday.
Yeah.
And when everyone is plugged in and you start seeing, and I hear that thing ding and ding, and I keep hearing it go off. It's exciting watching what people are doing. But I paid attention to what you were doing. You did 10,000 on Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it was Thursday, I think.
10,000 on Thursday. All life.
All life. Everything was life.
And I don't think you had any post dates, right?
No post dates, but one.
One post date.
One post date. Yep.
And then Saturday you went out there and you did 15,000.
Yeah.
So total was like 26. Just under $26,000. Every week when we come in here and train, everyone knows about schedule. We all know about phone training. So I don't want to spend any time on that. We all know what we're supposed to do. Everyone's supposed to be in here, supposed to be buying leads and dialing. That's like all the easy stuff. Let's get down to something that's going to really help people. And that's what I think the difference is definitely your in-home. And I call you a lot. I don't know. Does your phone ring a lot?
Yeah, it does. I have people text me like that. I just texted and said, hey, can you share some light on what you're doing and things like that. I've wrote Bill Rockwell. Like there's a lot of people that just reach out all the time.
Good. I'm glad.
So it's nice. Yep.
I'm glad because that's the first thing I do. Even though I've been in the business for a while and I see what you do, every single day I'm trying to learn. Every single day I'm trying to get better. Even if a new person is out there and running, I'm constantly calling and asking questions because I want to get better at what I do. So I'm glad to hear that people are reaching out to you.
Ashley Fisher, Fischel Schaefer, who had an amazing first month. She calls me every day.
And that's good.
Every day. She just, it's like her brain is like a sponge. She just wants to be so good at what she's doing at helping people genuinely for the client. And you can see that, you know what I mean? It's translating in her numbers for sure.
Well, let's go through exactly what you do. So you set your appointment, set the stage, let all of us know exactly what you do. And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to not allow you to give me any surface answers. I'm going to ask you specifically. Sure. When you walk into a home, kind of let us know exactly what you do. What do you say when you walk in?
So when I first walk into a home, I pull out the paper that they had filled out and mail back into me. And I'm very, bubbly. That's just my personality. I'm like, hi, it's Kristin. How are you? I was the person that you spoke with on the phone. I'm really excited to be here today. This is the paper that you had filled out and mailed back in. Do you guys remember filling this out? And they'll say yes or no. And I immediately dive into why I'm there.
You do that before you even sit down? You start asking them those questions?
No, I mean, we obviously walk over and then, we find a table. If somebody, ushers me to like a, like a love seat or like a sofa or something, I'll say, actually, I really need a table. If you have a table, I feel like it's important that because I feel like just sitting down and like on the sofa, you know what I mean? If they don't have a table, that's different, but I feel like it's more formal if you're literally sitting at a table and going through everything.
Okay.
So for me, I feel like that works.
The sales you made, was it husband and wife? So you had couples?
So I had one husband and wife that I wrote together, but there was a lot of single people that
Let's do each one separate. Let's go through a husband and wife. How do you handle that situation?
So the husband and wife, like I sat with them, they were so funny. They were talkers. I love them. But I just asked them, I said, okay, so with filling this out, I want to know, like, what do you already have in place now that will help you protect your family in the event of anything happening? What do you have? And they said, well, we had, I believe they had a Gerber policy, and then they had 2 CFG policies, but they were very, very small, and they were just end of life.
And how big was the mortgage in that scenario?
I want to say it was like $150,000. Okay. And so I was like, okay, so great. So you have these. What is this doing for you? Like in the event of anything happening, what is this doing for you to get your goal of what you want to accomplish? I want you to tell me what this does. Most of them can't tell you. Most of them don't even know what is in their policy or what is in their fine print. So I say, perfect. I said, okay, no big deal. Get those policies out. I want to see them, because if what you have is good, then we can kind of see what else you would need to accommodate your goals. But if it's not, then we really need to reevaluate this. And then what else do you have that would come into play that would help you in the event of anything happening? Do you have a savings? Do you have any 401s, things like that? Go into that. They didn't have anything. Okay, great. Do you currently have pensions? Do you have social securities that you're living on? And then I say, okay, is your goal, do you guys want to keep this house in the event of something happening? Do you guys want to sell it? Do you just want to protect the equity? What does that look like for you? So I want you to paint the picture of what that looks like and tell me what you have and how what you have now is accomplishing that. Okay. And then I have to work really hard, but I got really good at just stop talking and let them answer that question.
That's a nugget right there. Because I think a lot of people, they will ask a question and they're not comfortable with the silence and they want to fill it. So you ask that question, which is a great question, and you sit there and you want them to, they're almost selling you on why you're there, right?
Yeah, I want them to tell me what it is that they have now that's working for them, or what most people don't even know what they have really. And what is their goal? What is their main goal? And I say, I know that this is uncomfortable in talking about this, but if you set yourself up correctly now, you're not going to have to reevaluate this again. So let's really break it down on what that looks like for you and what you're trying to accomplish, because all of your hard work that you're working every single day, your blood, sweat, and tears, you're putting it into your home. For what? What is the purpose of that? Do you want to keep it? Do you want to protect the equity? What does that look like for you? And then get quiet and let them tell me.
Okay. In that situation, what was it that they told you?
So in that situation, they wanted to protect the equity in the home because they probably knew that they wouldn't be able to, they didn't have family around them, and they would have to go into assisted living. And so I was like, okay, so now let's get into that. What do you have in place that will help you with that situation? What kind of funds do you have that would give you the accelerated benefit? Because a lot of times, like what you have now doesn't have that. So how important is that for you? And then get quiet and then let them, and I've been spending a lot more time in the home to really break down what it is that what their goals are, right? Like I used to try to be a little quicker getting in and out. And I've really found that the more time I find like breaking down what their whole overall situation is and really putting something in place and reiterating it a couple times, saying, if you set yourself up right now, the best, then you're not going to have to reevaluate this again. So let's really make sure that we're really like dissecting what it is that your goals are and getting you to accomplish that. Okay.
So they told you from the beginning, they basically wanted to buy time, right?
Yeah.
What coverage did they have in place? How much?
So it was only a $6,000 CFG policy for her. For him, it was only $2,000, and then they had a really small Gerber.
So that's not even enough for burial.
No, and they didn't want to be buried; they just wanted to be cremated.
Okay, so it was enough to cover that.
Barely.
So that's probably why they took that out. Yep. Okay,
but they wound up not wanting to keep it because they were like, well, they just got it not that long ago, so it wasn't enough time to build cash in it, and they were like, well, the money that I'm spending paying in these, I could use this money to put towards something else that would serve a better purpose where I have kind of everything in one. So that's kind of how they,
And how old were they?
So he was 77.
Oh, wow.
And she was 60 something. She was like 68.
In that scenario, what did you end up selling him?
It was Eagle for him and Aetna for her.
Got it. So you did a replacement on some smaller policies. So there was another agent that obviously went there, and rather than asking the amount of questions you asked, it seems like the people probably just said cremation, which, like, you're right, that isn't enough for a cremation. I mean, I was at a client's house and a cremation was like $9,000.
Yeah.
So someone went in there, just asked a very surface level question and just threw some small policies in there rather than really taking care of everything that they were looking for. Right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. And the premium on both of them, when you show this premium, do you show three options, or you just say, here it is, here's 30,000, here's the max?
So when they said they wanted to protect the equity, we kind of got into kind of how much, I saw with their house, what they refinanced.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw that. And then I just said, all right, so let's just kind of break this down. So I said, I just go like 30,000, 25,000, 20,000, 15, and then just kind of write down whatever it is. I don't even care if the numbers are really high or not. The numbers are what they are. I don't control the numbers. That comes by, what is formulated through the carrier. So I don't have anything to do with that. Mm-hmm. So I just write down what they are. I've learned to not flinch at all. Like, I've gotten a really good poker face, like, in the event of writing them down and just like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? But to instill so much value and getting them to tell me consistently, not just one time, but consistently, what it is that is important to them. So that way, when we get to those numbers, it's not really, and I say, looking at this, okay, whichever one is going to give your family the biggest peace of mind, I am not helping you if you're overexerting yourself in your day-to-day living. So this should not be a thought for you, okay? So whatever that is for you, that's on you, all right? There's no right or wrong answer. But in the event that something actually happens, you also want to make sure that what you have is enough to be able to reach your goal. So whatever that balance is for whichever one you choose is which one you go with, okay? So while you're looking at that, and breaking that down, all right, on which one's going to give you the biggest peace of mind in both aspects, I'm going to start going through the approval process, and I just start going right into that. So I don't even ask them which one they're doing until I get to the product page.
So what I gather from, I mean, that's being very assumptive.
Yeah.
And you're very assertive.
Yes.
You're both of those two things, and you're not afraid to show value, which value is showing that full price. I think a lot of people will go in and they prejudge. They don't want to show, a $400 a month premium or $300, and they want to prejudge what people can afford. You show people basically what they need, and the cost is the cost.
Sure. And I will say, when they're looking at them, you're locking in an agent health. So you're looking at these figures and, imagine if you don't get enough and then down the road, you're going to need more, what those figures would look like. And, or maybe you have a health issue that arises that now you're not going to be able to qualify. All right. Also, though, make sure that you're not overexerting yourself in your day-to-day living expenses, because the whole point of this is longevity. I am not helping you if you put something in place that you're going to cancel down the road, because that's not the goal here today. We got to make sure that whatever you're doing, this is the main priority, because you're protecting each other and what your goals are. So that's what we're doing. So this has to be able to stay in place for you to accomplish that, so that we don't have to do this again.
So you write these numbers up. You say, here's your options. While you're looking at those options, I'm going to go ahead and start the application.
Yeah, so we're going to start the approval process, because we got to make sure that you can even get qualified, because that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Now, that in that scenario, there has to be some times where people will give you some pushback, right? Let's go through a scenario like that, because that's like a great appointment. they need it. They actually told you about, they wanted to buy some time. Give me a scenario where someone will give you say something stupid, give you some pushback like, oh, we're not doing anything today. Or, does it ever happen?
It does. You'll have, not really, we're not doing anything today. That's not really what they'll say. But if they say, wow, this is a little higher than I expected, I said, I completely understand. Let's circle back. So I want you to tell me again what it is. And I know that this is not fun to talk about, but if something happened tomorrow, what does that picture look like on what you have now that's going to accomplish that? I want you to tell me what your steps are. So a car comes up, or you get a phone call that says so-and-so passed away, and now you have that loss of income or part of that pension or Social Security or, whatever, or maybe they have a chronic or critical illness, so now he can't do stairs. So tell me what that looks like, so then that way and tell me what you already have right now on what's going to help you. And then they are like, nothing.
You're pulling out the emotion because you're making them paint that picture. You're making them live that if that were to happen, you're making them go through that.
Yeah.
And they're feeling that. Selling life insurance is an emotional sale. Too many people that go in, and I've done it plenty of times. I did it in the beginning. You just want to go and it's transaction based, but it's not. Life insurance is a very emotional sale, and you have to get good. So that I'm sure that does. You can feel that tension, I'm sure, when you're asking them to.
Well, I think the biggest thing I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. For me, it's about genuinely helping that person. I really, really, really care about these people. I would go back with every single one of them and just go have a drink with them or whatever. I really, really care about them. And I think that that's the thing for me. It's not just going in and out and then getting out of there. And they can feel that. And they said, I really appreciate you taking this much time we never looked at it like this. We never had anybody take the time to really break it down to, kind of be able to figure out our entire plan. So we really appreciate that you took this much time with us. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing for me. It's not just about getting in and out or how much time or it's just helping the person. Even if it's, not a big premium, I just genuinely like helping, making sure they have the right thing in place.
And they can feel that, they can sense it.
Yeah.
And obviously the way you feel about your job, and I can tell you're passionate about what you do, that's obviously coming. They can feel that in the home. People know, what kind of person you are. If you're there just to make a buck, or if you're there to truly help them. In that scenario, what was the premium on both of those?
His was it was $320 a month, and so it was over $4,000 a year, and then hers was $126 a month.
So
in one home,
you're at $5,000 on one home.
Yeah.
So what I gather, and tell me if I'm wrong, you're assertive, you're assumptive, you care, you're passionate about what you do, and they can tell that you like helping them, that you're there for their best interest.
Sure. One of the things that I say in every single client's home is, in the event of when something happens, it's not an if, it's a when, unfortunately, it's just life. It's going to be me. It's going to be me that's going to come and sit with one of you or your loved ones to make sure that the paperwork is getting done and to make sure that you're getting the funds efficiently, and that I'm going to be the one to have your back. So you have to have enough faith in me to know that I'm here for you. And so, you have to be fully transparent with me in what your goals are so I can make sure that gets done when you're not here to see it.
Perfect.
So
let's go through a scenario. Let's go through a single person. You had a bunch of those this weekend. Let's go through that scenario and what that looks like. Let's go through that big one. It was $4,000.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one on Saturday.
Yeah, his premium was $443 a month.
Let's talk about how you pull out, and sometimes that can be difficult. Some of these people, they know, but sometimes they don't. What exactly why they filled the form out. Let's go through that scenario. You had a single. He was older too. Let's go through that. How did that look when you walked into the house? What did you say? What questions did you ask?
Yeah, so he was 80 years old, and actually he had called me back.
Mortgage or final expense?
This was a mortgage lead.
All right.
He had, when I was making my calls, I left a message on everybody that I don't get a hold of 2 times of calling them 3 times in a row. That makes sense?
Yep.
I leave a voicemail and I just say, hey, this is Kristin. I was the underwriter that was assigned your file in the getting back the information to you that you had requested from after you had done your loan. And I say their lender. I am not from your area, but they have me out this weekend out helping other families. it's imperative that I get you this information. If you could please give me a quick call back at your earliest convenience, that would be greatly appreciated. My direct number is blah, 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 blah. And two of the people that I met with on Saturday were both of the people that I left messages with, calling me back asking for my help.
Okay.
And he was one of them. And he had he filled it out because he had his oldest daughter had passed away. She was 40 years old. We didn't even get into how, because he was emotional about even bringing it up.
Wow.
And she had shared the property that he was paying for. He was paying the mortgage for with his other daughter. I kind of got a sense that they were not in a really good situation. His son was living at home with him and his grandson in his current home. And that's where I met him. But he filled the form out because he's 80 years old. He was really healthy, but in the event that something happened to him, whether he got chronic or critically ill or whatever, now he actually had a lot of money. He actually had a financial advisor. He had, a lot of retirement funds. He was not interested in, switching them over, which is fine. I totally respect that. I didn't push at all because what he had was good. I'm not going to try to move anybody's money or protect it if it's not what he wanted with that. So he wanted the mortgage that he had for his daughter, that if something happened to him, whether he got financially, whether if he got chronic or critically ill, or if he passed away, to be able to take care of that property for them, because he knew that they wouldn't be able to afford it if he wasn't making the mortgage payments. And that was really important to him.
Did you gather all this information from asking those questions?
Yes.
Or this is everything that he told you?
This is everything he told me, yeah.
Got it.
And I said, well, Lonnie, just really breaking this down, though, we went over, all the, stocks that you have, and you have a financial advisor and all of that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I just want to make sure I'm helping you properly. You could pay for it really in cash. And I said, so I just want you to tell me why you feel this is imperative. So I'm really placing you in the appropriate thing here, because we could just protect the equity. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it would be. And he said, no, he said, I worked really, really hard my entire life. And my son has been really good to me and my grandson. And they really live here and take care of me. And he was like, I don't want any of that money coming out of those funds that I worked hard to leave for them. So this is what I'm leaving for her.
I love it.
That was it. So I said, okay.
We get a lot of questions too from new agents. They call and say they didn't need anything; they had enough. And here's a scenario where that guy had well over 300,000,
100%
in stocks and savings and everything else. And he bought, how much was it? 40,000.
It was 40,000. Yep.
And that was to pay off what? It was almost half the mortgage.
It was, yeah. I mean, if it doubles in the event of an accident, it would be pretty close. I mean, the mortgage was 113.
That's awesome. Now, in his scenario, you showed him 40,000, 35, 30. That's another thing too, is not to be shy from showing big premiums. I know I've done it plenty of times where I prejudge. It seems like you never do that. You don't prejudge.
No. I mean, even as somebody, if I sit with someone that sent in a final expense mailer in and they say, well, I just want to be cremated. I feel like a lot of times people will just show, 15,000, 10,000 and go down. I just disregard it. I always show 40, 30, 35. And the reason why I say that is because I always put inflation. People can never account for inflation. So, and somebody might have an idea in their mind what they think already, 40,000 is or 10,000 is. And when they see, what 40,000 is compared to 20,000, they might be like, oh, well, I could just do the 40. You just never know what's going on in someone's brain on what they, think. So I just always write down the same options.
What is you've been here for a while, and you and I have worked together for a while. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you weren't selling like you are now. What was that switch? Obviously, I know you're working more time. You've always been good. And what's crazy too is a lot of people say, well, Kristin's working mail, but I've been here when you were buying old leads and you were afraid to buy mail. Everything you bought was
in the beginning, I only worked off of $3 leads. Actually, the lead thing actually kind of drives me a little batty. I have certain people that I know that are so fixated on just mail. And I got to be honest, it's a dying system anyway. The internet leads are, I mean, it's where the year that I almost hit Hall of Fame, I did so many Facebook. Do you remember, Mike? I mean, I bought them all the time. And I worked them all the time. I really, truly believe a lead is a lead. It's like digging for gold. You know, you just never know when you're going to strike the gold. You just keep digging. I just feel like everybody is inquiring somehow, some way about asking for help. And the old leads are the best because they're not the people that are getting hounded right away. They're actually people that have had time to like kind of get settled in. And then now they're not getting hounded. And now they really need the protection because they didn't do it in the first place.
Well, I've known you from the beginning when you were buying those type of leads versus what you're buying now. My question is, what was the difference? What do you feel like the difference is from 3 or 4 years ago versus now? You always sold at a high level, but it seems like now you're at another level. You know, $25,000 in 2 days is great. What was the change? You think you just got better? You got better at asking questions? You got better at not talking so much? Or are you more assumptive? Like,
I think it's everything. I think it's knowledge and just life experiences, my failures of just going out and grinding and persevering, figuring things out on my own. I mean, I think a lot of times everybody's looking for like this answer or like a quick thing. It really isn't. You learn by failing. You learn by figuring things out on your own, and then you learn the most from that. In my personal experience, I never went and ran with anyone. I never went and, you know, I did call Jamie, you know, if I, you know, had some questions, but I call the carrier all the time. Even now I will call. That's how I, you know, learned, you know, with Athene and Americo and, you know, Mutual. I just call them and just say, hey, I have this client. This is what age, whatever. That's why they have, and I constantly would watch the YouTube videos. When I'm driving, you know, to and from my appointments, I'll watch podcasts and things like that. I just constantly learning. And then, yeah, I mean, I've learned to kind of be creative in the way that I'm asking the questions to the client to make them tell me. They're telling me what they need for them. I'm just putting it in place for them. And then them making sure that they have enough relationship with me and feel good with me, that they know that I'm going to be there for them when that happens. And that's really important for me. So just taking more time being with them.
Everyone is always looking for that one big thing. And it's never one big thing. It's being assumptive, being assertive, also being very passionate. You know, when people say, well, I want to ride with Kristin, I want to learn what she does. If you don't feel the way that you feel, if you don't feel that way about the clients, if you're driving around and cussing the clients that we meet with and you're not there truly to help them, then you can ride around with Kristin all day long and they can ride with you all day and they won't be able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's all those things together that allow you to do what you do. And $25,000 in the last 2 days is impressive, but that just goes to show you that every single person within this group, all of our production can go up. We have enough people that are writing business right now where our production should be at $4 million a month. And it can be at $4 million a month, even if we don't hire another person. So Kristin, I appreciate you coming on and you know, letting everyone know what you've done the last 2 days. I certainly hope it helps everyone out there and lets you know that anyone can go out there and do this. It's just be passionate about what you're doing.
Absolutely. I actually had a client with an agent on my team, won't disclose, but who they are, but they said that they were just kind of feeling like a little like, you know, kind of down and kind of going through something. And I think there's some insecurities there. And I said, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you genuinely care about people? Yup. Do you feel like we have the best products that there are to offer? Yup. Do you feel like even if there was another agent from a different agency that came in and wrote someone a policy, do you feel like you could better serve that client because you care more about them? Yup, then you never should question yourself, because at the end of the day, we are in the best company. We do have the best products and we do care the most. And if you feel that way, then you're just at that point, just solving a puzzle for the client and putting the pieces together for them. That's it.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it, Kristin. We're out of time.
Sure.
Everyone make it a great day, and let's get everyone out there writing $25,000 in 2 days. That's $50,000 a week.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. All right. I appreciate it. Take care.
Anytime.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.